if you are talking to sellers, this is the hard stuff. So if you have the money to be a private lender, you'd be like, no, I'm not talking to sellers, because this is where it gets difficult for a lot of reasons. It is very time consuming to reach out and connect with sellers over and over. It is also very mentally draining. Kimberly's not here, but she's literally like a counselor. She's on the phone with people every day, all day. And when I'm on the phone, like, we are listening to folks. Again, it's they're in distress, or the property's in distress. And the reason the reason they're calling us is because they just need help and to get out of this. And so a lot of times we take that whole situation and we hear it all, and we have to internalize it all and find a way to help. All right. So it is draining, but we have to be empathetic. We have to understand where they're coming from. But we also have to know that sometimes these situations get so bad because the seller has not made a decision to move on, to sell, or they didn't know they had an option to sell. So now we're here to help solve that problem. Part of our problem solving process is making sure we get them to make a decision. So it may not be a yes or no. They may say, no, I don't want to sell. That's fine, but they've made a decision. So we have to be empathetic. We get them talking through open-ended questions like, tell me about the house, tell me about the situation, are you from here? Those type of things. Build some rapport. And then, understanding again, just kind of what the weight of some of the gravity of some of these situations are. You cannot be on the phone with a seller who's going through these situations, this issue, and just be thinking, oh, this is dollars. I'm going to make money. I'm going to make profit. You guys, you can't do that, because they will tell that immediately and they will not work with you. And ultimately, you're not going to help them. Okay. So you got to understand where they're coming from, get the conversation flowing, and then see if you can get to making those offers. All right. This is what you have to get every time you're on the phone. Every time. Contact info. You do not want to get off the phone and not know their phone number, right? Or their email address, how they want to be contacted. All right. You got to know the property, of course, the condition of the property, the asking price, and the motivation. And for some reason, I left out the timeline. You want to know when they want to sell. What is the timeline? Is this a today thing, or is this a tomorrow thing, right? Or is it 10 years down the road thing? Just the one that the house that our team went to today, it's a yesterday thing. It should have sold already. It's got an ex-boyfriend living in it or something. The house is getting trashed more and more every day, right? That's a tomorrow. That was a yesterday thing, right? So it's like the now. We were at, I did a call with a seller yesterday where it's actually like a 45 days from now thing. We got to do a couple of things. We're ready, but we got to do a few things. So it's not like have to be today, but soon, right? So understand that timeline. And we do have, we have our script. It's on that page that I gave you earlier, the QR code. So it's dealfindersclub.com/resources. This script, basically, it just helps you go through in our number one goal for talking to sellers or property owners is not to convince them to sell. You can't convince people. You're not going to twist their arm or trick them to sell. But the number one goal is to figure out what's really going on, what's the situation, what's the timeline, and do I have capacity to help you in this situation? Okay. So that's what our script is there to help you get through that. Because if we don't follow the script, essentially you end up on the phone and you just talk for hours and you got nowhere. You don't have anything. You don't know property issues. You don't know the timeline. You don't know anything. Okay. So that's why we have the script to follow along. A lot of people talk about negotiation. Like, hey, I need help negotiating these deals. I need to learn negotiation tricks and tips and stuff like that. And yeah, we do talk about like negotiation strategies in our small group, in our Deal Finders Club group, and as well as with our partners. But most of our negotiation, you guys, is normally like with agents and stuff. We don't really go back and forth. We're not negotiating in the traditional term with sellers. It's a bad feel. It's a bad look, right? We don't go and say, oh, offer I'm going to offer them super low and then try to meet them in the middle. No, it's more about trying to find the seller's needs. Like if their needs are here and your needs are here, is there something in the middle where we can both give a little and we can end up making a transaction work? Right? You can't negotiate to that. Because ultimately, if you're not solving their needs, they're just not going to sell. Right? I hope that makes sense. You can't trick them into selling. All right. They're just going to, by the time they get to the closing table, they're going to say, nope, never mind. I don't know what I was thinking. I can't bring $10,000 to closing table. You need to pay me more. No, but you remember we negotiated. Well, no, doesn't matter. I'm not selling it. All right. So you got to find that common ground. One of the big things that we use to get this, to get the sellers to open up a little bit is that mirror technique. This is just a basic kind of, you should do this anywhere you are, anybody you're talking to. It's just a good technique to connect with people. So mirroring is done in two different ways. You can use this. Mirroring up, if they're talking really fast, then you talk really fast. If they're talking slow, you talk slow. If they're sitting down, you sit down, right? So physically, like mirroring. The other way to use mirroring is actually repeating some of the words that they say, so that it encourages them to open up and tell more. So, for instance, if I was a seller and I said, I'd like to sell this house tomorrow, and then if you're the deal finder, you would say, oh, sell the house tomorrow? You just say it with a question mark, and all that does is it encourages them to give you more details to the statement they just said. And then again, that goes back to just trying to figure out what the real need is. Okay. So if you can figure that need out, it'll help you get the deal done. All right. Ultimately, you got to make the offer. You got to make those offers. If you can't get down to the penny because you need some help, you need somebody in our group, you need to come, look at the numbers for you. Just make that range and try to move through that. All right. Or, this is what I was talking about earlier. Instead of talking to all the sellers and trying to get to the bottom, and these conversations are hours. Okay, talking with sellers and trying to get to the bottom of what the real issues are and the needs, they're hours long. Or you can do it the easy way and rely on your professionals, which is what is way better. These are some of the deals. Some of our deal partners are in there watching right now, and these are the deal partner deals. Okay, and this is where professionals are bringing them to us, right? Typically, I don't think we talk to any sellers. Our deal partners, us as flippers, we didn't talk to the sellers. We either had our home buying team do it, or we bought these from the MLS or from some other deal finder, or an off-market deal, something like that. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the comps. Like how do we define what a deal is? And I'm going to try to run through this pretty quick. We're running short on time. But what is a deal? Some of you have probably heard the 70% rule. That's the 70% of ARV, which is basically ARV. I should probably define this. ARV, after repair value. How do you get after repair value? The simplest way for, as my mentor Tom would say, is he doesn't know anything about real estate. He doesn't know how to do anything. He would just look at the best comps and take 3 of them and divide it by 3. Okay. So ARV, the way we do it is we do a little bit more math, is we take comps, comparable. Okay. That's a property that's comparable in size, style, and location. So 2,000 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath, ranch, same neighborhood. That would be a comp. Okay. We'll take 3 of those, if we can get 3, at least 3, maybe more. Take the ones that are in repaired value. So if they've been flipped or they're really nice, and now how you figure that out, you use your agents for help. See what the pictures look like, see what the listings look like, because these comps have to be sold. So they won't be listed on the MLS anymore. They won't be listed on Zillow anymore. Use your agents to help, or Zillow or Realtor.com. The app, you can also use the app. So dealfinderdata.com has those old pictures, and so does PropStreamVIP.com has old pictures, so you can see what that listing looked like. So you want it to be a repaired, flipped-ish listing or sold property, that's how you get your ARV, because you're going to take that and figure out how much it sold, how many dollars per square foot it sold. And you'll end up with something like $150 per square foot. Then you'll take your property and multiply 150 times the square feet of your property. Okay. That's your ARV. I'm sorry, I don't have all that math up here. If you need help, we can do that. That's your ARV. Actually, that might be next week's training, is just that math. So there you go. 70% of that. So if that ARV shows up at 200,000, then your ARV, 70% would be 140,000. Hey, look how I can do that math. Now, take out repairs and take out any fees, and that would be your offer. Okay? That's how you figure out if you've got yourself a deal. Okay? This offer, you can do this really easy, back of the napkin with a calculator on your phone. You can do this talking to a seller in their front yard without ever going into a property. You don't have to spend any time looking at it. You can do this super fast. The apps I mentioned, PropStreamVIP.com and Deal Finder Data, will do it for you. Zillow, Realtor.com, you got to click around and stuff like that, right? So come up with this, and that's your offer. And this part here, this repairs, how many of y'all are scared of that number? Like, how the heck am I going to figure that out, right? Unfortunately, it takes a little bit of experience, or a partner, or someone that you can bring with you to figure that out. We do have some, we have some tricks. We have some estimates of how to figure out repairs in our system, in our group. Basically, we break it down to price per square foot. So if a house is in okay condition, it's like $30 a square foot in repairs. Okay. Don't take that to the bank. You might be a different market or whatever. So figure that part out to figure out these repairs. Okay. So this can get difficult, right? Or you use the limbo method. What's the limbo method? Everybody know what the limbo method is? Let's go just as low as you can go. Just go low. So how do we go low? How do we know what low is? ARV. Remember, you're looking at comparables. You look at properties that have sold that are similar location, similar size, similar style. You could take the opposite and look at the similar size, similar location, similar style, the lowest sold. If that neighborhood, it was 200,000 ARV, there's probably some that sold for 100. That's your as is. That's your low as can go property. That's your low as can go comp. If I'm looking at a neighborhood and there's a 200s and a 100, I'm going to say, you know what, Mr. Seller, my limbo method says I'm buying properties in this neighborhood of about 90 to 110,000. There's my range. How does that sound to you? Should I come by and take a visit and take a walk through and get you a contract? Right? That's the limbo method. Okay. Just go as low as you can based on the information you have. Okay. As you get better and build your business around this, guys, we don't guess anymore. We know exactly what our repairs are. Well, range, pretty close. We know exactly what the ARV is, right? Pretty close. As our agents are here, like, you never know exactly. You don't know exactly what people are thinking, but we get really close. Okay. We know exactly what fees will be. Okay. So our offers are really pinpoint now. Okay. You don't have to be there to do this though. That took years, right? And that's what we help our people in the groups do now, but don't let that stop you. Okay. All right. Securing the deal. We talked about this. What's the benefit? Why are they going to sell it to you? Quick, convenient, cash. Of course, the downside would be a little bit cheaper. We do have this contract as well on the, on that website, the resources link. But I'll tell you, any contract you use, anything you use from our website or any other website, give it to an attorney. Let an attorney read over it. Make sure you know what's in it. Make sure you know what you're signing up for when you sign that contract and what your seller is signing up for. And we always encourage the sellers to do the same. Like, you can let an attorney read this, whatever. Okay. We want to know that We want everyone to know exactly what we're getting into because, guys, like I said before, contracts are not things to be trifled with. Like it's real. It's a legal document. So you need to know what you're signing up for and what they're signing up for. Okay. But was there any questions? Mm-mm. All right, that's fine. If you don't have any questions, I'm gonna just keep rolling. We're about to, I don't know how much longer, more things I have. But anyway, if you guys have questions, if this is something that like is striking a chord and you're like, I can't believe I didn't know that, or man, I need him to dive more into that, let us know because we could do that either today or another day. All right. So I know we've talked about a whole lot, and at this point, most people are like, okay, Andrew, you've given us so much information, so much education is kind of the goal, right? But how in the world do I start this? So some of you have already started. I know I saw Winston there a minute ago. Like he's already doing this business. Some of you are just trying to figure out how to get started. So if you're trying to get started, reach out, let us know. We'll see if we can't point you in the right direction. If you're trying to level up, like get to the next level, get more consistency, add more deals, do more flips, get more rentals, ultimately be a better deal finder, then you're also starting, right? You're also starting at the next level. And some people don't, and it's taken me years to kind of figure that out, that there's a book called something about the gap. I should look it up. But anyway, it's basically that all businesses, whether we have gaps, we end up getting to a place, we get to a plateau, and then the next step up, we are starting again, and we are learning new things. We are making new systems, new processes, okay? And you have to implement new things. And so as a business, you are maybe starting again. So every time you get to that point, every time you get to that step, whether you're starting out right now or you're going to your next step, you've got to figure out your direction. Where are you headed? Which way are you going? Get focused on that. Get the training. Find the support system and the mechanisms for that. Motivation, of course, sometimes we need a lot of external motivation in this business. But get motivated in order to have that direction, you got to know where the goal is. Okay, that's how you ultimately get to success. The mentoring piece is what had led us to being able to quit our day jobs, to buy our rental properties, flip the deals, okay, and become wholesaling, create a wholesaling business. Every single one of those had a separate mentor or coach that helped us in our business, okay? Now, there's so many different paths. I mentioned this earlier. Like, where in the world are you going to go? If you go back here, if you don't know your direction, then you're going to end up going down this road and either stopping here in the middle or you're going to take the wrong turn. Okay. So know what your direction is. What is your goal? So you know which direction you're going. We've been talking about wholesaling all day, right? Or deal finding. It's time to change that. We've been talking about deal finding. At some point, I need y'all to tell me when has the community, the South Carolina and everybody else, when have they decided that wholesaling word is out and now it's deal finding? Okay, so then I'll just stop saying wholesaling because if I keep saying deal finding, people don't understand that's what we're talking about. All right, so where are you going? Which way? All right, this is what I was talking about earlier about how do you determine which way you're going to go? Which path makes sense for you, your life, your business, your goals, your legacy, okay? So ask yourself these questions. You were writing notes earlier about how much money and, all that kind of stuff. So how much time do you have? Like, write it down. How many hours in a week can you commit to your business? I asked you how much capital could you commit. Now tell me how many hours can you commit to your business in order to be successful? How much experience do you have? It's okay to have zero. When we started, like literally zero experience in real estate investing. Okay. Now my dad was handy. We used to, like, I'd fix stuff around the house. Also broke a lot of stuff. Maybe that's why I fixed a lot of stuff. I don't remember. Maybe that was it. But we did things around the house. We fixed things up, right? But as far as investing, man, I had no experience, right? Where are you? How much energy and drive do you have to make this business successful? Like, if you're like, I don't have any energy, I just want this thing to be a plug and play. I need to buy it and out of the box, it works. And I'm making revenue from real estate day one. All right. How much energy and drive do you have? If you don't have enough energy to put business and commit energy to business, it's going to be hard to be successful. Okay. And then, of course, we ask that, how much can you commit? How much money do you have to commit to the business right now? When you answer those four so that you can make these goals. Okay. Figure out what you can commit to the business, and then where do you want to be? What is the goal? How do you want to come out of the business? Right? Where are you headed? Okay, that's the direction. How much time do you want to have? Like right now, I'm working 40 hours a week, but I can commit to 10 hours a week to this business, because at the end of that, when I get successful in this, I want to have those free 40 hours and I want to keep just doing 10 hours. Right? Write that down. How much experience do you want? Do you want to learn how to flip houses? Do you want to learn how to talk to sellers? Or do you just want to learn how to lend money and have your capital make little baby capital? Right? If that's all you want to do, then don't go be a flipper. Okay? How much energy and drive do you want to commit to this business? Just because you have it now doesn't mean that you want to do that. Right? As you get older, you're like thinking retirement, I want to just sit on the beach. Yeah, I'll commit to a year of really hustling into this business, but after that, I'm done. Right? So you can write that down. 10 years, 20 years, whatever. Write that down. And then, of course, how much money do you want out of that? Whether that's your legacy, leave for the kids or family, or that's right now. How much cash flow do you want? How much spending cash? How many really nice purses do you want to buy, or whatever that is? Some diamond earrings, whatever you're looking for, which I'm not looking for any of those, but I'm looking at Michelle. Yeah. How much money do you want now? And then, or monthly. Okay. So write that down. All right. So I want to help you guys figure this part out. I told you about that earlier. I don't know if I put this up. I can't remember. No, I didn't. So screenshot that, or just use your camera and go to there, or chat with andrewlucas.com/15 and book a call with me. And if you've answered these questions, then I can help you with what your next steps are. I can tell you kind of where the people in our community have done, if they're a similar situation, what have our partners done, what have our group members done, or what have we done, right? And other people in our community, the masterminds, the groups that we're in, where have they gone if they're in similar situations? Okay. So I've got one more. I'm going to, let me get through this. I wanted to make sure we hit this last one because we're running out of time. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to commit to this right now. Michelle, write it down. Next week's live training will be all about just running the numbers and comping properties. Okay. Because that was really the next step, the next section of this, and we just ran out of time. So what I want to be able to do is actually spend some real time comping properties. Next Friday's live training at 12:30. We'll put that in here. The thing I want to show is this. I want to make sure that you guys can see this. Babe, can you see this on the screen? Okay. So this is like a simple, easy calculator we have that you can use to help you get to a quick offer. Again, as deal finders, what you're trying to do is get to offer range, finding your partners, some of the partners in this group, partners in our community, or you can be one of our partners, will help you get to the final numbers, right? They'll help you get there. But this is good for estimates, okay? So you can actually just put your ARV, whatever desired profit income you want out of the project, repair estimate, pick a number, or guess, or pick a high number or low number, whatever. And it'll populate kind of what your offer might be. So some of the things that we calculate, remember, we have it all over here, and this is all broken out, but it's simply all in expenses. You got your when you sell a property, you got to take that out. We take out 8%, right? We've got our all-in expenses, which is to buy the property and to fix the property. Okay. Then we've got our borrowing costs. So any lending fees that you'll have to pay, we got to put that in there. And then we've got resale costs. So if we had to buy it and pay an agent in the beginning, they pay an agent at the end. We have all this put in there, and it just spits out the max flipper offer. Okay. So this is a super easy calculator that you can use. You can take this and do all this math. We will do all that. I'll add that into when we're talking about comps. We'll comp properties and make the offer next week. Okay. Some common big things to look at, and I want to make sure that we just hit this. So between now and the next week, you'll know this is what we look for when we're looking at properties. The roof, floors, everything needs to be painted. So just assume it needs to be painted. Lighting package and fixture package, just assume we do them all. Okay. Plumbing and lighting fixtures. Do the windows, if windows are working, that's a plus, right? If they're not working, they're got to go. All right. Kitchen, is it a full reno or just an update? And then HVAC. Look at the age of the HVAC. Okay. These are going to help you make those offers. These are going to help you with your repair estimate. Yes.
Leo said, in a neighborhood where most houses are 1,350 square feet, 3 bedroom and 2 baths selling for $150 to $170, how do I make sure that the house that's worth 1,700 square feet, an ARV of $250, is a safe move to make?
So is that Leo? So Leo's another one of our partners, y'all. So here's the thing. If your house is the biggest one in the block, unfortunately, you can't use that same price per square foot. So you have to have a hedge. So tell me those numbers again.
1,350 square feet, 150 to 170. And then theirs is 1,700 square feet with an ARV of 215.
So in that particular instance, I would not take an ARV over the 200 mark, because everything else in that neighborhood is going to be under 200. And what you're really trying to do at the end of the day is you're trying to present an offer, present a product, being a home, that someone would buy. And people buy products based on what they see around it. So in that neighborhood, you're not going to get somebody over 200. So I would say my max ARV just from hearing that is 199. Now, is there anything else that's selling for 199 or close to? That would be a question. So I would probably, based on those numbers, that's 400 square feet difference, which is a third. So it's 33% bigger than everything else in the market. I would make sure to take that down. At least know that if you do the project, that you can sell it and be profitable at the highest price that's sold in the neighborhood. So if they've all sold from, up to 170, I would say I would make sure that I'm profitable at like 175. I think you can get a little bit of a bump. I would be afraid to take this to 199. I hope that makes sense. Looking around, I would use the comps, look at other things in that neighborhood, but somewhere between that, like 175, 180, I'd have to be profitable there. Knowing that it, 199 would be where I would probably list it and try to sell, but I wouldn't want to end up losing money if it did sell at like 175, 180. Okay. All right. So we're going to wrap it up in just a second. I think we kind of went through all these, some of the biggest parts. So when you're doing the deals, line up your funding, line up your partners and your buyers, the inspections, contractor bids, final walk, agent walk, property management if you're going to rent it out, insurance. But don't forget your insurance, guys, when you're buying these things. Final rehab estimates. There's so much to do, so much to go through this. The biggest thing is I've kind of put this in here to remind everybody. There's a lot of steps to this. There's so much that goes on, and unfortunately, this is what scares a lot of people from getting started. And so I don't want this to keep you from getting started. Go be a deal finder. Find the good deals. Find the sellers. Find the properties, and then while you're doing that, this is what the conversation I had with our deal partners earlier is we always tell our partners, anybody that's listening, every day we're looking for deals and money to close the deals, right? Deals and money. If you are a deal finder and you know that you don't have the funds right now, or you're trying to build up those liquid funds, you're trying to get good credit, then every day, instead of looking for funds, you're looking for deals and partners. Someone else that you can do a business relationship with to help you close these deals. Because if not, this is going to get very scary and it's going to keep you from finding good deals. That's what our community is about. Come, let me know if you need a partner. Let me know if you're like, I don't know anybody, I can connect you with somebody. Let me know if you want to do some deals, okay? We can get you connected with the right people and build your business that way. All right, I'm not going to talk through all this. This was the last thing I wanted to get to. As deal finders, think about these KPIs. These are the things to know and to put down. How long is it going to take you to find a deal? 30 cold calling hours. It's a lot of phone calls, right? But that's where the deals are. 30 driving for dollar units, so houses that you saw in your neighborhoods or whatever, 300, not 30. And you have to reach out, right? You have to send them mail, basically. 3,000 direct mail pieces to like one of those lists we talked about earlier. 30 returned phone calls. Okay, so if somebody calls you from direct mail, 30 of those. 300 probate leads, and then 3,000 people cold outreach should get you to a deal. Now, if you're using your wide fan method, it is insane how much more efficient it is when you use the wide fan method and people are bringing the deals to you. Because now you get a direct connection and you're going to be getting contracts way quicker. Typically, when we have a referral like that, a wide fan method, a referral, or someone brought the seller to us, we're looking at like 1 and 2. Okay, so using that really just trumps all of these. So that's why we spent so much time on the wide fan. All right, so your action plan, building your action plan for your success is what's important. We went through a lot of things today. So as a deal finder, try not to get distracted in the other things and what everyone else is doing. Build your business plan and take action for yourself, okay? I'm going to jump through this. I did mention this to make sure you stay focused on what you are doing. Don't get the shiny object syndrome and look at what everyone else is doing. Find the deals, be the deal finder, connect with other partners to help you close those deals. All right? We're going to get your system set up and then building your team. I'm going to run through this so that we can close more deals.
Thanks for listening to the REI Deal Finders podcast. You can find out more and apply to be a part of the REI Deal Finder community at reidealfinders.club.